Hey, what's going on everybody? It's me, it's the original gamer StevieStrow. And what I'm going to show you right now is the CocoSDC. Well, you can't really see the CocoSDC too much now because it's inside a casing. So what I'm really showing you is two things. I'm going to show you the CocoSDC and I'm going to show you the custom cartridge casing that goes around it. What does the CocoSDC do? Well, basically, you will stick it into the cartridge slot of your color computer, like so. It allows you to use an SD card, similar to what you would use in your digital camera, to load up your software, and then it presents this information to your computer so you can load up a ton of information. The equivalent of thousands, if not millions, of floppy disks will now fit on a single SD card and will work off of this single cartridge in your computer. So when I fire it up now, what we're going to see now is there's a new message down here that says SDC DOS 1.2. Now, I will tell you right now, I am not trying to come across as a know-it-all here. I've had this thing for 2 days. I am actually almost next to know nothing on this, but I know enough to get into it and to play a game, which is all I really wanted it to do. So I'll show you how to do that, because since posting these pictures, I've gotten a couple questions and I figured it might be easier to show rather than try to explain. So right now, this is running its own custom version of DOS, which is built into the board. If I type in dir, I'm going to get an I/O error because there is no actual disk in a drive. There's an embedded command that's called dir-. That is what lets you view what's on the card here, and I've got a folder that's called games C2, games C3. In order to change into one of those directories, you have to say dir equals, then you put quotes around it, and then you can type in games-C2. Now I'm actually baby stepping my way through the file and folder path. If you knew the full path and you were feeling like typing out the whole thing, you could do it in a single command and do your /folder/file name and mount an image that way. I'm kind of baby stepping my way through here to show you the process. I just change into one directory. If I do another dir-, there's a whole bunch of more folders. What I do like about these new DOS commands is if you've got a lot of stuff on the screen, it will actually pause right now. I'm going to keep it right here on the first screen, and the first folder I see in here is one that says one-on-one. I remember one-on-one very fondly. This was Larry Bird versus Dr. J. And so now I can once again say dir equals, and I'm doing the long-winded baby step way of tiptoeing through the tulips to get into these folders, one-on-one. And somebody who was more fluent with paths and typing and slashes could do this a little bit quicker. So now when I do a dir one-on-one, I'm in that folder. If I do a dir-, I can list the contents here, and there are two different disks here. There's one-on-one-1, there's one-on-one-2. I will go ahead and pick the first one. This is now what's known as mounting the disk into a disk drive. In order to do that, you use the drive command. So I'm going to say drive 0, comma, and then I have to put it in quotes, and I'll say one-on-one-1, which is the name of this disk image file here. And it says OK. If I type in now the word drive and hit enter, it's showing me that in drive 0 now there is a disk in that drive. This is known as the mounting process. This is like sticking a floppy disk in the floppy drive, and now drive 0 has this disk. If I now use the internal dir command to get a directory of that disk, I can see that there's now a file called *basic on here. And now I can actually load that like I would if this was an actual real floppy. If I just say load quote star, that will load up, and then once I run it, it should run the program. And so now, once you've gone through the first step of installing the mounting the disk image off of the SD card, you then work on it just like it was a normal thing. Now what I'm noticing here is the colors are off. Now this is a nice feature here. If I hit reset, and those of you who had a Coco will remember that the red and blue colors quite often were just kind of random what you got. Now I have the red. So the cool thing about this, which I don't remember happening on the original Coco, is that when I hit the reset button, it resets the machine, but it keeps you in the game. In the past, if I loaded a game from disk, in the past for me was, you know, well over 20 years ago, so this is an old memory. But I think when I hit reset, it took me back to the green screen with the OK prompt, and it wasn't still in the game. So now, if all you need to do is fix your colors, you can just keep mashing that reset button until you get the colors you want. So what the SDC card does is it pretends to be a floppy drive controller that allows you to view the contents of an SD card, allow you to browse them using DOS-like commands. Once you browse through the folder and you've found the image of a disk or a ROM pack, you can then, well, I'm using the term mount, which is a Linux term. You can mount it, which is like imaginarily sliding a disk into a drive, and it gives you two drives, drive 0 and drive 1. You can mount it or load it into that virtual drive. Once it's in the drive, you can do your normal directory commands. You can copy files, you can rename files, you can delete files, you can save, load, load basic, load binary, execute, run, all those kind of things like you do on a normal disk. The benefit is you don't have to have the large clunky floppy drive, you don't need to have the floppy disks, and you can fit a lot of information on a little tiny SD card, and it loads up a heck of a lot faster. So what I just showed you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is an actual living demonstration of the CocoSDC card along with the casing. So the other questions I got were, how much did everything cost? Where did you get them from? Well, I got the SDC card from Ed Snyder, and the cost of that card was $40 before shipping. I got the casing, the plastic box that it's all wrapped up in now, from a person by the name of John Strong, and the price for him was $17 for the case plus $6 shipping, so it was $23 total. I don't remember what the shipping charge was from Ed Snyder, but it wasn't that much. Small price to pay in order to get a very convenient way to still use your real computer, load your real games, and not have to have a ton of ROM packs or floppy disks or floppy disk drives taking up space. I am just tickled pink that I've got a real Coco that I can now play real games on. I actually now, through the powers of eBay, have 3 Coco 2s that all work, that all have 64K. And what I'm waiting on now are a pair of analog joysticks that I've ordered that still haven't come in yet. And the smallest thing seems to take the longest time to get here. But that is it. I am done showing you everything. This has been the CocoSDC. I have been the original gamer, StevieStrow. Hope you enjoyed this. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.